Welcome to the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. It's time to get ignited. Let's go. It's a great day in every way. Hello, and welcome to your show. I am your host, Dr. Lotus Riche, and have I got a treat for you this evening. We've got a special someone that's just not special right here in the United States, but she is special all around the world. And her name is Dr. Maxine Bryant. That's right, Dr. Maxine Bryant. Who knows? Y'all know I'm related to the Bryants. She might be my cousin. She might be my auntie. No, y'all, she's too young to be my auntie. But she is beautiful and bold and badass enough to be my friend and my cousin. And tonight, you are going to learn some truths about you and about where you may come from. And she's just the person to do it. And so as we get started, I want you to come on in and get in where you fit in, and go ahead and make sure you tell a friend, tell your mother, tell your dog Toto, but also tell your friends and your frenemies, because what Dr. Maxine Bryant has to share, you don't want anyone to miss. So before I bring her in, let me tell you a little bit about her. Dr. Maxine L. Bryant is an award-winning journalist. She's an educator. She's a speaker and a cultural truth teller. She's also a TEDx speaker and a global presenter on diversity and justice. And she has founded the BEST and GriotSpeaks. I know you're saying, what is that? Well, Dr. Bryant is going to tell you. She's also a dynamic author. She has 3 books to her credit, and she champions accurate Black history. Now, her ability to be dynamic and to tell inspirational stories with a style that empowers and ignites audiences worldwide is not only her claim to fame, but it's also her motto. Her life motto is her driving force. And this is it. Until the lion tells the story, the hunter will always be the hero. So come on, y'all. Let's let her tell us a little bit about where she's from and what she's doing. So go ahead and share this out with your friends. Share this out also with those that you know that's ready to start the show. But before I do that, guess what? I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek. Don't tell her I told you this. Here, watch this. Check this out. I'm going to share this with you. She's amazing. Check this out.
Hi, I'm Dr. Maxine Bryant, and I am excited to announce that I am the featured guest on the Lotus Riche Ignite Show on Wednesday, July the 16th at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's going to be a dynamite show. Now, who am I, you ask? Well, I am the founder of GriotSpeaks, where we celebrate Black culture, honor Black history and heritage, and tell accurate truth. This conversation will inspire you, motivate you, challenge you, and educate you. Yeah, you're going to come away with information and a perspective that will ignite you to action. It's going to be lit. It's going to be on fire. Check me out on the Lotus Riche Ignite Show on Wednesday, July the 16th at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You don't want to miss this.
We'll see you there. Woo, baby. Woo, baby. Did she do it? So I done told you. Go ahead. Tell your friends. Come on in and get in where you fit in. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on LinkedIn. And check us out right here on Facebook. Because the next voice you're going to hear is none other than the remarkable, incomparable Dr. Maxine Bryant. Welcome to the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. Please welcome cultural keeper, TEDx speaker, and author, Dr. Maxine L. Bryant. Dr. Maxine is in the house. Woo-hoo! Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Wow. Welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you here this evening. Dr. Maxine Bryant. What can I say? TEDx speaker, author. You are a woman that have traveled all over the world. Last week we had a talk and you had recently come back from Africa, correct?
Right. Came back
Oh,
from Rwanda. That was my 5th time going to the continent.
oh wow. How is Rwanda? I've not been there yet.
Let me tell you this. Have you ever been to Savannah, Georgia? Let me ask
I
that first.
have. I have. I love Savannah, Georgia.
So Savannah is known for its beauty.
Yes.
Kigali has Kigali is Savannah on steroids. When I
Oh,
talk about beautiful and
mhm.
clean, I've not been to a city like that ever.
Wow.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So listen. So folks, she just came back from what many of us would call the motherland, if you will, Africa, our roots, our heritage. And tonight, we're going to be talking about, you guys saw it, GriotSpeaks, telling the accurate truth. And tonight, we're going to get into some truths about who we are as a people. And we welcome your questions because we know you're going to have questions. And this may be one of many segments that we have to bring Dr. Bryant right here to answer some truths about you, about me, and other people that look just like us. Or how about who look like us? How about that? All right. So, Doc, let's get right into it. Tell us a bit more about yourself. I know I share some things with our audience, but we want to hear directly from you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I hail from Indianapolis, Indiana. That's where I was born. And I did not know about my African history at all. That was not explained to me. It was not shared to me. As a matter of fact, I grew up in that era, much like Ruby Bridges, where our parents thought white was better. And I went to college and took one of the classes I took was an African American Studies course. And it began to raise my curiosity. That was the first time I'd heard anything positive about Africa. And it ignited a desire to learn more. But I didn't start my journey then. In 2011, I moved to Savannah, Georgia. I wanted to be near water and I wanted to be in warmth. And I became acquainted with the Gullah Geechee culture here. Those are descendants of people who were brought here against their will. It was an unplanned trip, that's what we say. And they had to form their own culture, their own way of talking, their own way of doing things. And the descendants of those people are who we call Gullah Geechee. I became fascinated with the culture, with the language, with the way of being and doing. That's what ignited my studies. At the time, I was teaching criminal justice at Armstrong State University, and they began to ask me to teach African American studies. So I'm going to teach a thing, I have to study a thing. And Dr. Riche, I went all in. I needed to know as much as I could. So I found that Kemet that we were taught to call Egypt was really that name Kemet means black for the people, black for the land. I found out that so much of what we now consider medicine, even our alphabet, all of it, we are told that the Greeks and the Latin gave us our alphabet. No, it came out of Africa. I began to feel a sense of pride about Africa, and I had to tell other people. I could not keep it to myself. Back in church, they used to sing, I can't keep this to myself. Girl, I could not keep it to myself. The more I studied, the more I came to know, the more I fell in love with my history and my people. And let me add this before I stop. In Kigali, I had the opportunity to share what I know about African greatness with children, young people who were raised in Kigali. Now, keep in mind, Kigali was colonized with most of Africa. So, what they learned about their history was from the colonizers. They did not know about their greatness, Dr. Riche. They did not know they came from
Wow.
kings and queens. They did not know about African kingdoms of Kush.
Ooh.
Well, I tell you, when I got finished, those young people, they were all in their 20s, emailed me and texted me. One young man said, I am now proud to be African. Girl, see, I got to make a difference all over the world, not just here in the United States. I need to ignite a sense of pride, a sense of who we are, a sense that stabilizes us so that we can begin our healing from years and
Yeah.
years and years of institutionalized trauma, right? Okay, I can
Ooh.
go on.
Whoa. Listen, I told y'all. Ah, TEDx speaker. Speaking all around the world, you have got to understand. You have got to understand where you come from. And a
Yes,
lot of us don't know where we come from. And so this is one of the things that I've been hearing, Doc. I've been hearing this a lot. We don't know where we come from. So tonight, folks, as with every night, we always bring great information. Take your notes, because note takers are money makers and money makers are note takers. And here's the thing. When you have this information, when you have the knowledge, nobody can take it from you. Nobody can take it from you. So I want to ask you, Doc, what inspired you to start traveling to learn from various tribes, not just in Africa, but globally? Because I know you've been to other places as well, but you started right here in the United States, observing people, getting to know and understand how people maneuvered and where they came from and the different languages they spoke and the different traditions that they had. But what inspired you, one, to get started?
Dr. Riche, I figured out that my history did not begin with slavery. And that's what I had been taught. So I began,
Yep.
something inside of me said, wait a minute. If slavery is not where Black and African American history begins, where
Right.
did it begin? How did we get here? And so I believe I began on that quest, trying to figure
Mm-hmm.
out that
Mm-hmm.
where does our history begin? And you're right. I started right here in the United States. Savannah is full of history, and I
Oh,
took
yes.
it all in. I went on River Street, and I was taught about the history of those captured and enslaved people who were brought here. I went to the Lazaretta out by Tybee Island, where they dropped off
Happy
people
Island.
who were sick and could not
Yep.
make the journey the rest of the way. I internalized that. I went to our various islands. We called them the sea islands. I needed
Yes.
to see for myself what life was like here in the United States originally. But
Right.
since our history doesn't start there, I had to
Yeah.
go to where it started. And the first place I visited outside of the United States in terms of Africa was Kemet. It was
Wow.
Egypt. And I learned there are so many things that challenge
Mm-hmm.
traditional belief. So I thought, I can't stop here. So my next stop was Ghana. And
Wow.
when I tell you to stand in the slave dungeons and feel the mud on my feet that our ancestors felt, to smell the stench that's still there after hundreds of years, to look out the door of no return and see what they saw, that made a lasting impression. I was not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Not the same. Oh, and let me tell you this. So,
Wow.
as a professor, I needed to ignite that yearning for truth in my students. So, a few years ago, about 2 or 3 years, probably 3 or 4 years ago now, I put together a tour to go to Sierra Leone because I found out in my studies that a significant number of people who we call Bela Geechee in South Carolina, North
In
Carolina,
South Carolina. Yep. Yep.
came, they could trace their heritage back to Sierra Leone. So I went
Wow.
and I saw where Africans there resisted captivity by climbing up a steep mountain. I know that you're familiar with Stone Mountain in
Yes,
Atlanta.
I am.
Girl,
Mhm.
this mountain I went on ain't got nothing on Stone Mountain. Oh my goodness, it went straight up. They had little young people pushing us up the mountain.
Mhm.
And to have that experience and get to the top, and that being at the top gave our ancestors a 20-mile radius so they could see the would be captors coming and they could prepare themselves and ward them off. I had to experience those type of things for myself in
Um,
order to tell the story. I can't tell what I don't know.
True, true. That's the truth. And one of the things that people often find is that a lot of times they don't go to these places because sometimes they think, oh, it's so expensive. I can't go. It's so expensive. Hey there, Sylvia. We see you out of Savannah. Great to see you. Be sure to share this broadcast and tell your friends to come on in. We're happy to have you here. A lot of people believe that they can't afford to go. And
Yes.
that is the barrier between them and knowing their history. What would you say about that? Because in order for us to educate ourselves, we have to go to the place. Like Dr. Martin Luther King said, I've been to the mountaintop. So we've got to go to
Yes.
that mountaintop.
Yes. What I would say is we spend our money where we want to spend our money, Dr. Riche.
Yes, we
Hello,
do.
right? Um, some people find themselves, I'm not going to say a rut, but doing the same thing. It gets real comfortable. We go to cruises, we go to vacation in cities and in around the country, and we spend just about as much money as you can spend going to Africa. Right?
That's
You
true.
got to be savvy. So, for example, now what I'm getting ready to share is not for public consumption, if you will. But I'm putting together a package now for people at
Mhm.
our church to Kigali for 7 days, flight and airfare, $2,600.
What?
Did you hear what I say now?
What?
2,600, right? People
Wow.
think it's expensive, but you gotta keep on digging. And if you don't know how to dig, get with a travel agency that can do the digging for you, right? Money should not be a hesitant obstacle. We save up for what we want to save up for. And what
You
I
got
did,
that right.
I just gifted myself some of
Hmm.
those trips. Right. Oh, let
Hmm.
me tell you
Hmm.
another secret. My daughter and I went to South Africa a few years ago. You know how we did it?
How'd you do it?
Groupon.
Wow.
You heard me. Groupon travel.
Hmm.
Oftentimes they'll have packages that they already put together for you. All you have to do is decide that you want to go, save up your money, and make it happen.
And let's say this too. Listen, folks, Groupon is not paying us. See, Dr. Bryant is telling you things that she knows work, that she has used herself to help you create some savings for you, your family, and those you love and care about. However, Groupon, if you want to pay Dr. Bryant, if you want to pay the Lotus Riche Ignite Show, we welcome you to be one of the sponsors of our show because this is true. You've used Groupon and it's helped to save you and your daughter money, and you're sharing this information with people all around the world that might think, hey, I can't afford to go, but you can afford to go if you plan properly. So let's
Absolutely.
I love that you've shared that. And if you look, we're going to be sending you periodically throughout the show some information where you can connect with these various locations she's telling you about. We're sending you information. This link is going to tell you about Kemet. Okay, you might want to learn some more about Kemet. And hey, the way to learn about it is go there. And this is not, we don't own this information, but this is information that we're sharing with you, and we're paying homage to those that it comes from. So, with that being shared, let me ask you something because I know I have people that work with me and for me from Ghana, Nigeria, and all around the world. And a lot of people here in the United States often feel like, well, I won't speak the language. Can you tell us about that?
That's a good question. I'm going to be transparent here for a moment. In 2013, here in Savannah, I completely lost my hearing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was scary. So I wear
Mm-hmm.
hearing aids. When I
Right.
went over to Ghana, by the time I went to Ghana, I had lost my hearing. And it
Mm-hmm.
was scary because there is a definite language barrier. But
Right.
let me tell you something. There are some things that are universal. So, for example, music is universal. And
Mm-hmm.
so there was an African person who began singing, and it was a tune that we could recognize, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, there is a language barrier. There's also translator apps that we can use,
Correct.
right? On my
Correct.
last trip to Kigali, I used the translator app.
Mm-hmm.
And I taught them. Are you familiar with the Barney song? I love you.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And knowing that music is universal, I
Yes.
taught them that song,
Oh
and they
wow.
loved it. They absolutely loved it. I've been gone now, but I hear from people who are still there. They're still asking about that song. Now they don't know it's the Barney song, and we're not going to tell them, right?
That's right.
But use
That's
things
awesome.
that are universal, and apps are free. I
Mm-hmm.
bought the last
Mm-hmm.
time I went, I bought a translator because I
Mm-hmm.
really needed it to help me to hear,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there are apps that are free on your phone that you can use to help you with the language barrier. It's there, but there are so many ways to get around it. And there are people, it's not like that no, you go to a country and no one speaks English.
Right.
English, that language is pretty universal. So there are
True.
going to be people that you will come in contact with who can be interpreters for you. When I
True.
spoke the
Mm-hmm.
young people in Kigali, I had an interpreter there. That person translated what I was saying for those who needed it. Not everyone needed it, but for those who needed it, that's how we spoke back and forth.
Right. And you know what I love about what you're saying is because they have some great technology out where people can buy and you can get one on Amazon. And for those
Yes,
of you that's not purchasing Amazon, that's all well and fine. But that's one of the first things that's come to mind because we always use Amazon for many, many years, many of us. But you can go to multiple locations, just order online, look it up, translating earphones, where it will translate. They have some that will translate up to 144 different languages
right.
in different dialects. So this can be very, very helpful to you when you're traveling. And I highly recommend it. I speak a few different languages, so it helps me. But for those of you that may not speak multiple languages, I challenge you. I challenge you to go ahead and get this. Why? Because it can help you. It can really help you.
Absolutely.
So, and I love that you shared what you shared because it's really important. It's really important. So outside of that, what else could one do to make sure that they understand not only the language, maybe they could take some quick courses online if you're going to a certain place. Okay, you might want to learn about the different languages that they speak, like in Kemet or in Ghana, and they have multiple dialects of different languages. So can you tell us about that? How could they learn, and how could they maybe connect with someone over there before they even go,
Good
so that
question.
they have people that they can talk to before they go over there?
So, interestingly enough, there's something called Facebook, right?
Hmm.
And Facebook is connected to Messenger. And
Yes,
oftentimes there are groups in other countries that exist around that particular country. For
exactly.
example, I connected with expats in
Hmm.
Costa Rica, in Kigali, and other places, and began communicating with
Hmm.
them prior to making the trip to those particular places, right?
Exactly.
Hello. You know what, Dr. Riche, there's no excuse. We can come up with a million excuses
Exactly.
every excuse you come up with, I can come up with a how to get around it.
And so here's something we want to share with you. So if you're an expat, and this is not our page, this is the Expats in Ghana page. So expats in Ghana, hey, we see you. Thank you so much. You can join the page right here. And we're not telling you that you should or you must, but like you said, Doc, there is no excuse. So you can go right here on Facebook and look up the expats. This is an expats group in Ghana. You can go here, you can join. The expats in Ghana will tell you a bit about what it means to expat there, and how you can connect and so forth and so on. So this is one area that you can do it. And hey, I'm showing you this live time. So look at expats, right? And where else did you say is, let's say, expats living in Rwanda?
Yes.
Okay, so here you go. They've got 7.2 thousand members. Okay, and so again, you can come here. They'll tell you about the different manufacturing and construction things that's going on in there, different places that you can stay. So, like she said, there is no reason not to do your due diligence. Okay,
Absolutely.
they tell you about how to get around. They tell you even look about the type of shoes and stuff that they wear. So, and about the lodging. So there's no reason for you to feel or believe that you can't get around. Just join one of the expat groups that resonates with you. Also go on LinkedIn, okay?
Yes.
And look
Yes.
some things up. And I challenge you also go to YouTube. YouTube is an excellent place to go to find out more information.
Absolutely.
That
And then there's just old fashioned books. Hello.
yes,
The
exactly.
library or online, as you said. A lot of my material that I
Mhm.
have been researching, I downloaded online first. Right. And
Exactly.
then and to see, okay, now I got this little bit of information, where else can I go? So yes.
Mhm. And also let me say this too, because I think this is really important. I'm going to share this. You can also go to, and I would wholeheartedly say do this before you go anywhere. Make sure, and we talked a little bit about Kemet earlier on, and go and listen to some of the videos that are out there. And
Yes.
not only do you want to look at the videos, go down and read some of the comments. Okay, read some of the comments. So I have taken the liberty to share with all of you um, the credit, because this is, we don't own the rights to this. This is YouTube. Okay, we don't own the rights to this, but you can go right here to this link and click on it later on if you want to learn about Kemet. If you want to learn about Ghana, go ahead and go to YouTube as well. And YouTube, they're not paying us to say this, but you can pay us, YouTube. Yes, we happily appreciate you to be the sponsor of the Lotus Riche Ignite Show. But you can go here and pull that information as well. Now, another thing that I highly recommend that each and every one of you do is to connect with
So
Dr.
may
Bryant.
I put a shameless plug in here?
Yep, and you heard me just put a shameless plug in there, right? Connect with Dr. Bryant. This is how you connect with her. Get connected with her. Go to her page and let her know that you want to be on board with her next excursion. It's very affordable, and you can be a
Yes,
part of it. And
you
so
can.
let's talk some more about that. And I want you to go ahead with your shameless plug.
So, Dr. Riche, I offer online modules called
Yes.
GriotSpeaks, and they're each module is 4 weeks in length, and they're 1 hour. So we meet 1 hour a week. The YouTube video that you just put up reminded me of one of the videos that I share in module one as we talk about Africa's greatness, right? So
Right.
module one talks about just that, Africa's greatness. I'm going to start module two in September. I'm not going to tell you anymore. Go to the website. All the modules are listed, the prices listed. If you want to know more before you go, Griot Speaks is the way to do that.
And I absolutely love that, because when I started traveling internationally, one thing that I did to prepare myself was to start looking at other cultures where I was going so that I could learn the customs. How
Absolutely.
important, Dr. Bryant, is that for them to learn the customs? And everyone, if you don't have a pen and paper, please get it because we're going to bring GriotSpeaks up for you so you can go right there. And then we're going to also put it in the chat. And I see we have some comments coming up, and we're going to bring your comments up here in a moment. So, Dr. Bryant, how important is it for people to make sure that they are learning customs before they go?
Extremely, because we're very westernized, so we think
Mhm.
everybody acts and does like we act and do,
Right.
and that is so not true. Several years ago, I visited Vegas, and I happened to win a lot of money. I won about, well, it was a lot to me at that time. I won about 3,000, but I put that money towards a Mediterranean cruise, and I was
Hmm.
going to Italy and Greece.
Right.
Well, I don't know anything about that. So that was when I first learned about translators. But I
Hmm.
also knew
Hmm.
it was going to be important for me to learn their culture, their
Right.
customs before I went. I studied. I looked at papers and clips,
Hmm.
video clips. I did some research about how they do. What are the customs over there? The same thing for wherever you go, whether it's in Africa, whether it's someplace closer like Costa Rica, Central America, wherever you go. Before you go, make sure you know. What do you need to know?
Exactly.
You need to know a little bit about how they do what they do. Do they ride on what side of the road do they drive on? What's a custom? Do they get right up in your face, or um, do
Right.
they appreciate personal distance? Right. So
Mhm.
learn those little nuances about where you're going so that you're not offensive. That's important. You don't want to offend anyone while you're there. You're going to be a tourist, a foreigner anyway.
Exactly.
So it's
Mhm.
going to be, you're going to stick out to some degree.
Right.
But the
Right.
more you know about the customs of wherever it is that you're
Mhm.
going and the culture of that place, the more you can kind of blend in and know
Right.
how to navigate and not stick out so much like a sore thumb and not be offensive. That was important to me. I didn't want to unknowingly be offensive.
Exactly. And we have what we call proxemics, right?
Yeah,
Proxemics. So this is one reason why it's really important because I've been places and people they'll walk up and they'll touch my hair and they'll look at my skin and you know in some places we go we're like a phenomenon. We're like a
yes,
phenomenon. And it's interesting, Doc, because you have been recognized in various publications about some of your work and about how we can reclaim our stories. So I was wanting I shared this in the chat with our folks, the Indianapolis Recorder. You talked about reclaiming our story and restoring our pride. And so, folks, we've shared this with you because we want you to go here. We want you to read this story as well and definitely connect with Dr. Maxine Bryant. It's essential that you do because this is going to help to change your life for the better. And so, if you have any questions that you just burning that you just have to ask, go ahead and put in a comment, and we're going to bring your question up. Because Dr. Bryant, so many of us when we travel abroad, where some of us are afraid because we don't know how people are going to receive us. Because a lot of
right,
people see us on the television and they are envisioning what we are supposed to be. And a lot of times it's the furthest thing from the truth.
right,
So
right.
I want to flip the script for a moment because a lot of times we see things here in America about other cultures. Oh, they're savages.
Mm,
Oh, they're poor. And we go to these countries with this misinformation, and then we are treating people improperly. So, can you talk to us about why it's essential to make sure we get great information and not just listen to the television?
you make such a good point because we cannot be um, one ethnocentric where we really think we are the best culture, right? The United
Yeah.
States of America, and the we need to recognize our own biases right?
Yes, we do.
Our
Yes, we
own,
do.
stereotypical kind of information that can get in the way of having relationships and getting to know people where they are. When I got back from Kigali, it was interesting. Even members of my family were asking me, did you stay in a hut? No, it's a hotel, like with all the
Right,
amenities that we have, right here in the
right,
state. Um, Recognizing that not only do we have our own biases, but they have biases of us. And
correct.
so we have then an opportunity to cross pollinate, to
Mm-hmm.
cross educate, if you will. So when we go abroad, know that it's a two-way thing, that they're like, who are you? And they really do. You mentioned like touching here and all of that. They're
Yes,
curious about the folks in the United States. One of the things I will say, you mentioned language earlier. We have to realize that n- language does not translate word for word, right?
exactly, exactly.
So I was speaking, translating with a young lady I met in Kigali, and I said, "Hey, baby girl," that didn't
Yes.
translate in Kigali language. And her response was not what I was expecting. Then it was like, okay, Maxine, baby girl, hello. That's our slang.
Right.
So
Exactly.
we need just to keep that in mind that that there are some things that are universal, but we need to be respectful of
Right.
those differences. Yes.
And one other thing, we need to learn about traditions of those various cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times, like when I lived overseas, especially in Japan, it traditionally, you do not take someone's business card and put it in your pocket because it's kind of like a sign of disrespect. So I was watching something a while back, and I'm going to stand up. Hopefully, I won't be out of the screen, but um, it was said that in Nigeria, when you meet a elder, you step down and you touch the ground to honor them. And
Yeah.
so these are some little nuances you might want to listen to because I was listening to. Hold on one second, something dropped here. I was listening to. Pardon me. I was listening to a comedian, and she did this show, Abby Shola. Bob loves Abby Shola, and they did a special on her. And when they did the special on her, she said that she took her partner over to Nigeria to meet her mom, and the partner got online and looked up all types of traditions. And when she found out the traditions, the mother said she's a better Nigerian than you are.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if that person can do it, so can you.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
People, what I learned in Japan, when people saw me speaking the language, when they saw me honoring the traditions, they
Mm.
had a greater respect for me.
Absolutely, because it showed that you cared about their culture, right? So,
Exactly.
absolutely. Um, One of the ways I happen to live, as we've already said, in
Mhm.
Savannah. And
Right.
in Savannah, I am surrounded by so much African culture, African
Right.
American
Mhm.
culture. And so I seek out the elders. I seek
Mhm.
out those who know, right? I
Yeah.
ask them questions. I invite them into my space so I can learn and I
Right.
can help others to learn. So wherever you live,
Mhm.
in the United States in particular,
Right.
there no doubt nearby or within, or in the world of internet, we have
Mhm.
access to information that can help us to know
Right.
about other traditions and
Mhm.
position
Mhm.
ourselves to honor those
Exactly.
traditions when we go
Yes.
outside of the country
Right.
or even to a different culture. You can
Exactly.
be in Indiana, for example, and come down to Savannah, and you need
Mhm.
to know something about the culture in Savannah and Charleston, for example, right?
For
It's
sure.
different than up north.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
study, ask the
Right.
questions.
And so, speaking of questions and asking, we have some questions that our audience is asking us. So, we want to dive right into your questions and let us know that if I know it's going to bring you value to hear the answers to your questions. But while we're taking a quick break, we're going to go for a quick break and we're going to come right back. And while we're taking a break, why don't you tag a friend and tell them to come on in because we're going to pull up your questions next. And this is going to be like in 2 seconds. I told you it was only going to be 2 seconds. So let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. So we have a question, and we want to thank all of you for coming in. We see people shooting in from all over the place. Let us know where you're streaming in from. Let us know where you're streaming in from. I see Angie is in from DC. Thank you, and thank you. And welcome to the show, especially those of you that's been with us all the way through, and those of you that are just joining us. We see you, Sylvia Bellberry. She said, yes, Dr. Maxine Bryant. That's correct. Here we go. Quasi Hanson, great to see you. DeGraff Hanson, great to see you. Thanks, Dr. Maxine Bryant. We absolutely love you, Doc. That's it. That's for sure. Welcome to the show. Okay, so let's see. We got Sylvia from Savannah. All right, fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And Angie said, this is a very interesting topic. I'm learning a lot, and I'm glad I tuned in. And we're happy that you tuned in as well. And Sylvia Bellberry sent link on Facebook. Well, thank you so much. That's right. We want people to come in and get in where they fit in. Angie says, I love the advancement in technology to assist with language and communication while traveling around the world. Folks, it's epic. You don't have a excuse not to connect with people because of language anymore, because technology is making it so interesting and so easy to do. And Angie said there's so many devices and even AI. Yes. And X-Packs are excellent resources and very resourceful. So Doc, that was a home run. Because a lot of times people don't even think about the X-Packs. They think about, okay, I'm going to go read a book. And reading a book is great. I'm going to go look at a video. Listening to a video is great. But when you can make that human connection, oh my goodness, it really is powerful. And Angie says, yes, like she said, there's no excuse. Where there's a means, there's a way. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. So let's go down. And Confident Woman on the Move. Hello, Confident Woman on the Move. Let us know where you're coming in from. And she says, this is great information. Thank you, Dr. Bryant, for sharing your experience. And she said, Africa's greatness. Yes, let us know, Miss Confident, if you've been to Africa and where you've been. And if you haven't been, where are you going? So, because it sounds like you're interested in going. And you can go with Dr. Bryant. She's coming back, right? So Angie has a question, I believe. She says, you get increased, the same. You get increased respect and understanding for the local customs. Avoid potential faux pas and enhance enjoyment of the travel. So don't listen to the faux pas. Make sure you go there and you really get in where you fit in. And so Sharon says, Dr. Maxine Bryant rocks. Yes, she does. And if you think she rocks, go ahead and put some 10s in the comments. Put some 10s in the comments. And if you watched the broadcast and you jumped off, jump back on and put some more 10s in the comments for Dr. Bryant. And so Confidence says, what has been the biggest myth about foreign international travel that prevent others from this unique experience? Wow, that's a great question.
Fear, Fear. Fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the unexpected, fear that is a result of the lies we've been told. That's why it's important to seek truth and to go after multiple sources, not just one source. I meant to say that earlier, Dr. Riche. Multiple sources. Seek out information from multiple avenues. But fear is probably the biggest myth that we're not safe. I will say I have never felt unsafe, even when I went this year. I'm cognitive of my cognizant of my whereabouts and whatnot. But I, I, God has not given me the spirit of fear. So I don't operate in fear. I operate in caution. Right. So yeah, I think that's the biggest.
All right. I absolutely love hearing you, one, Miss Confident Woman on the Move, asking that question. So thank you for asking that question. And thank you, Doc, for telling us that fear of the unknown and of the unexpected due to lies, we've been told. So seek out the truth and seek it out from multiple resources. I absolutely like that. And so, Phyllis, you got your 10 in. Phyllis is coming in from Virginia. Thank you so much for letting us know. Have to catch the replay. All right. Yeah, you got to catch the replay if we started ahead of time. That's my auntie. She said, that's my auntie. And she's coming in from Texas. Thank you so much. Griffin Lawson, how you doing? Darien, Georgia. Griffin Lawson, Mayor Pro Tem. All right, Mayor, we got to get you on the show. Make sure you DM me. Let's get you on the show. Never heard of XPAC. Wow. How many of you on the show this evening have never heard of XPAC? If you haven't heard of XPAC, don't be embarrassed, because that means we need to do a few shows on XPACs, and I'll be bringing XPACs from all over the world to the show. And of course, we're going to be having Dr. Bryant come back, and she would grace us with her presence, and we're going to be talking to some of those XPACs together. Okay. All right. All right,
Absolutely.
Sharon, we'll see you in the house.
And
And
can
so,
I jump in? We
of
just
course.
from Grifton Lotson, who is an authentic Gullah Geechee person here in Savannah, has strong Gullah Geechee roots. And when I tell you he is one of the elders that I have sat at the knee and learned from, right? People love talking about their culture, whether
Yes, it
we're here on the state side or elsewhere. Ask
is.
questions, give people an
Yes.
opportunity. When I was with those young people in Kigali, it wasn't me doing all the talking. I
Mhm.
listened and I learned so much from them. I learned about what they were lacking and what they were wanting. I learned a little bit about what they were embarrassed about and what they were proud of for their culture, about their culture,
Mhm.
right? So we cannot go abroad or any place outside of our home thinking that I know it all. I don't
Mhm.
have to ask
I
anybody
agree.
anything. No, no,
I
no.
agree. Mhm.
We don't. We need to go with a heart for learning.
That's true. And the more we learn, the more we want to learn, the more people will talk to us and teach us some of the things that we don't know. And there's no more amazing education than an education that you can get where you don't have to pay a single dime, but it's coming from people who actually know their history, who actually
Yeah.
can take you to the places that's going to give you immense value and give you a cultural experience that could not be surpassed by anything
Woo.
other than
Oh,
what
you
they're
said it.
sharing.
Cultural experience. Yes.
Cultural experience. Wherever I travel around the world, I always go to find those mom and pops restaurants. I'm always going into the communities where people are welcoming me in because they are proud, just like you said, to share their culture. So Phyllis says, I travel alone and people have tried to scare me. I went on a Bahamas cruise alone and had a blast. That's right. And sometimes you just got to do your due diligence, and you just got to go and you've got to learn all about it. I've got a young lady, actually. She is the daughter of Miss Hope Cruz. Miss Hope Cruz is an amazing lady. She has a tea house in the DMV area, and I'll be bringing her on the show at some juncture. But her daughter is a global traveler, and she's going to be helping us with our upcoming event that we're having. We're traveling back to London, going back to Oxford University, and we're taking the delegated speakers and authors with us. But she's also going to be putting together some things for us when we go to Ghana for our Ignite Your Life for Life Summit that's coming up in 2026. So it's always great to connect with someone like her, and she can help plan out things, tell you where to go and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And very affordable. So if you're interested in connecting with Mrs. Hope Cruz's daughter, just let me know and I'll get you connected. And so Angie says Phyllis M. Weaver, an expat, short for expatriate, is a person who lives outside of their native country. While the term can apply to anyone residing in a foreign country, it's often used to describe individuals, particularly professionals, who relocate for work, retirees seeking a new lifestyle, or those pursuing personal interests abroad. So I want to thank you, Miss Angela Elton. You get a star for that tonight. Thank you so much. And this is how we do. Each one teach one. And so Kwasi says, Dr. Bryant, please explain the word. Go ahead, Doc.
Griot. Thank
That's
you, Dr. Hanson. So, and let me say, Dr. Hanson is joining us. I don't know if he's in Atlanta now, but he's from Atlanta. There was uh, in during slavery time, one of the largest sales of enslaved Africans took place right here in Savannah, and Dr. Hanson is a champion for memorializing that. But
mm-hmm.
griot, in Africa, the village history keeper, the one who was responsible for handing down the accurate truth of the stories, is the griot. So
Real.
when I realized that earlier this year, like the name GriotSpeaks really has not been around long, but it was in January that the realization came to me that, okay, that's what you do, Maxine. That's what
Exactly.
you are. Griot speaks. You are speaking truth. And that's what the griot does. It's one who speaks truth
True.
about the village, to the village, for the village.
Ha ha. Got that? And you heard it right here. And see, this is why we make time for those of you that want to ask the questions, because note takers are money makers and money makers are note takers. And I'm going to take a sip on that. So I got to tell you, Doc, you have totally come and ignited us tonight. And those of you that's watching, please share this broadcast out. And I know we can't tell it all in one broadcast, but we have told a lot in one broadcast. So, Dr. Bryant, I know you have a lot coming up. We'd like to know first, where can people go to check your website out? Where can they go to check your website out?
I made it real simple.
Mhm.
www.drmaxinebryant.com. It's real simple, right? Everything is under drmaxinebryant.com, drmaxinebryant.com. There you can find out about GriotSpeaks, the modules. And wait a minute, let me let you in on this secret. So I recently joined the cast of a traveling off-Broadway production called
Right.
Just on Trial. We're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina on July the 26th. If you know someone who lives in Charlotte, or you want to make the 4 or 5 hour drive up there, check me out in Charlotte, right? I'm not going to
Right.
tell you what role I'm playing, but I got a major role in this production. And
Ah.
we're going to be traveling around the country. Go to my website, you'll find out more about what I'm doing there. We also have an exciting new product coming out. Well, let me tell you about another product. We have t-shirts. I
Mm-hmm.
coined the phrase genius cannot be stopped. And I did that because when I thought about it, Dr. Riche, slave
Mm-hmm.
captivity did not stop genius. Slavery
Exactly.
did not stop African genius. The Jim Crow era, lynchings did not stop genius.
Hello.
The civil rights era did not stop our genius. Even
That's
when we
right.
were being captive and enslaved, African
Hello.
Americans continued to invent, they continued to contribute, they continued to bring new knowledge, right? They didn't let circumstances stop their genius. So genius cannot be stopped. You can get a t-shirt on my website, and I have a new product that's coming. We're going to be doing a podcast starting in August,
Yep.
I believe. But I have a board game that's going to be coming out real soon. Can't tell you much about that,
Yes.
but you need to look for it. So you can join my mailing list on my website, and I can keep you in the know. I now have a newsletter that goes out on a monthly basis. You want to be a part of the people who are in the know. So,
That's right. And so make sure you come to her page, everyone. She talks here on the first page a little bit about what it is. Okay, I didn't want to stop that when Doc hit. It was like, hey, tell us what the griot is. Thank you, sir, for doing that. But go to her page. Go to her page. I put the link to the page, and I'm going to put the link to this page specifically right here, because you may say, I want to just go right here and I want to find out a little bit more in depth about what it is. So I'm going to put that right here in the chat for you. You go right to the page and connect and do your due diligence. Get your reading in, because reading is fundamental. Okay? Discover the truth about Africa and the African diaspora. Make sure you do that. Okay, she's got pictures, she's got programs, she's got the modules that she talked about before we were enslaved. Okay, she breaks it down to the weeks: week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And now I got to tell you, I had the opportunity to spend time with Dr. Bryant, and she talked to me about the modules, and she gave me some key information. I can't tell you, okay? But you can go right here, sign up for her program. It's very cost effective, and this is going to help you understand about you, who you are, where you're from, your people, and how you're connected to this wonderful thing that we call life. Okay, and she's got some new modules coming up, and it's very inexpensive. Here's the price right here. It's $199 for each module. And I gotta tell you, Dr. Bryant, I can go out on an evening with 2 or 3 people, and we can circulate more than $199 just at dinner. So this is very, very affordable. So thank you, Doc, for making it affordable, because you put so much work into this. I mean, you have decades of knowledge and decades of work, blood, sweat, and tears that you put into this. So I just want to thank you for sharing that. Thank you so
thank
much.
you. Thank you. And you don't have to pay the $199 all at one time. We do have payment arrangements for people who need that.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. So make sure you come to her page, check out her products. Make sure you grab her books. And listen, folks, we're going to have to bring her to Books to Boom Your Business, one of our other shows. And we're going to be talking to her about her books. She's got a great book called I Want My Groove Back, God's Way. And then she has The Truth Be Told, and then Heart Notes. Come on, folks. Y'all need to feel it from a heart space. But you don't have to wait till we bring her to the show to get her book. You can buy her book right here on her page. You can buy her book right now. Don't wait till later. It says buy now. You can buy her book right now and get to understanding how you can get your groove back God's way, and also let the truth be told in your life and experience the heart notes from her heart to yours. Fantastic.
Absolutely. And I have a 4th book coming out. Many people know that I was adopted at birth. And, well,
Right.
not right at birth. I lived with my biological family for about 4 months. And I found my family in 2019 via Ancestry DNA and Facebook. Facebook is not always a bad thing. Right? And my sisters and I used their stories. I had them to write me their narratives about what it was like growing up in their life. And I wrote my narrative, and my deceased brother's wife, his widow, gave me
Right.
his memoir. So I intertwined all of that together. It's almost ready to be released. It will be released, hopefully, by the time I'm on your show, your next show.
Yeah.
It's called Finding Peoples. Peoples was our birth name. I'm the
Yeah.
daughter of Charles and Charles People, and my mother, Mrs. Peoples, Dorothy
Right.
People. And so it's called Finding People. So you're going to be able to get that also. It's a memoir, but it's a story of loss and hope, of nature and nurture, of all the things, the trauma that hits us as Black families. And I'm doing it under GriotSpeaks because it's GriotSpeak talking about the nuances of the Black family.
I absolutely love it. So listen, folks, Finding Peoples. This book is coming out soon. I highly recommend. I highly recommend you pre-order your copy. Pre-order your copy because you're going to want to get this copy ahead of time. So, Doc, I can only imagine you've got a landing page or something where they'll be able to go and get this book ahead of time before it comes out.
That is coming soon. It is not in existence yet. I can tell you the book is going to be $18.95. I do know that. And thank you. So we will have a landing page where you can pre-order the book before the end of this week, maybe even before the end of the show. You'll be able to do that.
That's right. So make sure you get that book and let her know, hey, I saw you on Dr. Lotus's show and man, you ignited me and I got my book. So I'm getting my book and I dare say, make sure you get your book. And once that book comes out, we're going to bring Dr. Bryant back to the show and we want to go through that book and we want to go through that book with you because, you know, a lot of us don't know our people. And finding peoples is very powerful. And hey, who knows? You might find your people along the way by using some of the strategies and knowledge that's in her
Yes,
book,
yes, yes.
Finding People. So make sure you connect with Dr. Bryant and make sure you stay connected with her. Pardon me, my mic fell. Stay connected with her. And this is how you can stay connected with her and get your book. So with no further ado, we want to share also with you, we've got a phenomenal event coming up called Ignite Your Life for Life Summit. Some of you may have already heard of it. Some of you may have been a speaker at the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit. And so if you are looking to become a part of something that is dynamic, that is greater than just yourself, where you can move away from not following through on some of maybe your New Year's resolutions that you started and you didn't finish. Well, the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit comes your way every 3 months to help you do it. And we have an Ignite Your Life for Life Summit hybrid coming in Paterson, New Jersey, and you don't want to miss this. Check this out, folks.
Jersey. Support.
Here we go.
See you on September 12th and 13th for our first Ignite Your Life for Life Hybrid Summit, themed When Men Exhale, at the Paterson Public Library, 250 Broadway, Paterson, New Jersey. Meet the first half of our powerful igniters joining us for the September Summit. Shakam Hudson, founder of Fathatorg Inc. Honorable Remy Chukwunyeri, entrepreneur, startups ecosystem builder. Councilman Louis Velez, 5th Ward, Paterson, New Jersey. Co-host Timothy T.O. Clay, leadership coach, 4 times best-selling author. Co-host Francisca Nunes, domestic violence coach, human rights advocate, diplomat. Come be one of our speakers. Spaces are limited. Scan the QR code and secure your speaker spot today. See you there.
That's it, folks. Make sure you get your ticket. Make sure you get your ticket now to the summit. We only have, see, this one isn't like the rest of them. This is a hybrid. 50 seats. Only 50 seats are going to be in a place. And Dr. Maxine Bryant, you know we are welcoming you to come and be a part of the summit as one of the panelists. So it will be all men speakers, but we will have a few honored women in the space that are going to be on the panel asking these dynamic, powerful men some questions that are going to help further empower them, but also empower our youth. Each speaker is bringing a young male child with them because the way we learn is from the models that we see. And so we have asked each male to bring a young person who is not going to pay for being there, but they're going to bring $5. And there's a connection with the $5 in them because they're going to be responsible for 5 people that they've got to stay in connection with. Y'all heard the cliche, each one teach one. And this is the way that the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit is doing it today. We're not going to wait for tomorrow. We're doing it today, and we're bringing special knowledge with us, like and none other than the incomparable Dr. Bryant. Because you got the knowledge, Dr. Bryant. So if you've enjoyed this time that we've had together, go ahead and put a 20 in the comment. Hey, Debbie, we see you. Dr. Bryant, you are so excited. Thank you for the knowledge of GriotSpeaks, the truth teller. So, Dr. Bryant, as we close this segment of the Ignite Your Life for Life Summit that we talked about and the Lotus Riche Ignite Show, we want to give you the final word of wisdom so that your words can go out to all the people all around the world that's waiting for your next book, but also waiting for your next words. Please share your final words of wisdom for this broadcast.
I want to close out with a quick story. I'm going to make it very quick. The story is told of Reverend Dr. Duck, who had preached a sermon. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. I'm going to spread my wings. I'm going to fly away. And after the church service, the ducks were coming up to him and they were saying, "We believe we can fly. We believe we can fly," as they walked home. You see, motivation without activation is hallucination. Now, you may have been motivated during this time that we're together. You may have been excited about all of the information you heard, but if you don't act on it, all we did was 60 minutes of hallucination. Motivation without activation is hallucination. That's my word.
Woo! Motivation. Come on, y'all. Motivation. Put it in the chat. Everybody should be typing this right now. Everybody should be typing this. I know we got mic drops and 200 and all that. Motivation. Come on. Put it in there. Motivation without activation is hallucination. Without activation is hallucination. Come on. Hallucination. How many of y'all tired of hallucinating? How many? I don't know. How many of you are tired of hallucination and ready to move into motivation? Well, make sure you join us in the next series when we're going to be bringing Dr. Bryant back to the Ignite, Lotus Riche Ignite Show. There we go. Debbie, you just won a book, Debbie. You just won a book, and I don't have the book sitting here, but you just won a book. It's called Harnessing Your Thoughts, Take the Reins, Control Your Life, and Win. Go ahead and DM me, Debbie, and we're going to send that book to you directly to your address. Quasi said, motivation without activation is hallucination. You won this book. We need your address. We're going to send this #1 best-selling book to your doorstep. I just came back from the university in London, where Oxford University, you hear people in the back, Oxford, thank you. Oxford University on my book tour with this book. This is a #1 best-selling book. You're going to get this book. You're going to get this book. If you put in motivation without activation, you're going to get this book. But you got to DM me. You can go ahead and email me at lotus@lotusricheignitesyou.com. lotus@lotusricheignitesyou.com and claim your book. And so with no further ado, we absolutely love you and we bless you. And make sure you stay close to Dr. Bryant because the best is yet to come. And we don't want you to miss any of it. And we'll see you real soon. Have a good evening. Wow. Thank you for watching the show. And follow us on YouTube. Ring that bell so you don't miss a thing.
See you on the next episode of the Lotus Riche Ignite Show, where we're helping you to ignite and take flight in every area of your life.
And if you want to be a guest on the show, please connect with us at Lotus at lotusricheigniteyou.com. Ignite your mind and ignite your life.